Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. Yes, Adam. Okay, you only have to do one side. It printed funny, but you only have to do one side. I borrowed this from you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Who did not get, did I borrow this one from you? Did you get your worksheet? Do you have your worksheet? You already have this? Okay. It's your homework worksheet. It's your homework worksheet. And here's your homework for... So this is your homework for your spelling tonight, okay? That's a grade, so I'm going to make sure that gets done and turned in tomorrow. I'm having you for one more week on the list, and then I'll move you back to the book. The only reason why is because you're going to be gone, so I figured since you're going to be gone most of the week, this will be a little more doable for you. Okay? Okay, so you all have your spelling homework. If you get done early, you can go ahead and start working on that. Everyone open up your books to grammar, page 68. If you're not already there, do it quickly. We're going to be doing some review because we have a test this Thursday, okay? We don't have a ton on the lesson plans for this week because it is the week before we go to Thanksgiving break, so I tried to keep it a little bit lighter. But we will have a spelling pre-test on Wednesday, so you have one last day to study for your spelling. So make sure you're studying every day. Guys, you can't wait to the last minute to memorize all those vocabulary words. Okay, perfect, Johnny. So make sure we're studying a little bit every night, okay? Go home, ask mom and dad to quiz you. You have a regular list this week with spelling and vocabulary, so make sure we study those, and we'll go over those in a minute. And then we also have a language test that will be this Thursday. The language test is going to cover all the punctuation that we've been learning. Quotation marks, commas, colons, semicolons. It's important that we know the rules and not just guessing, right? Because if we're guessing, we're going to get them wrong. We have to know the rules. So when Mrs. Rule is teaching the rules, that means we have to be what? Listening. If we're not listening, then when we get to our test, we're going to try to just guess, and we're not going to do so well, okay? Language is a little bit more difficult of a subject because there's a lot of rules that we have to memorize, and there's no other way to get it except for to listen and to memorize and to know the rules, okay? Page number 68. Emmeline, very important question right now.
What about our homework for Friday?
I'll collect it in a little bit. And when we dismiss for lunch, you can turn it in. Yes, Adam, do you have a question?
Oh, when are we gonna get I think it's the test 2 back
From what?
for language?
I already handed those back. The language test, unless they're in your folders. Let me check. No, I'm sorry. They're right here. Yes, they'll be in your folders today.
I have 2 questions. For Thanksgiving party, why is it spell no line? Does she have a sign?
No, the line is there for you to cut that little portion off at the bottom and turn the bottom portion, and you can keep the note for reference, okay? That's all that's there for. Okay, no more questions about Thanksgiving right now. You can ask me at lunch. Let's jump right into our grammar. Page number 68, think D. These are review pages, which means we should all already know what to do here. We're going to do page 68 together. Page 69 is going to be a quiz. So it's important that you're listening and trying to think through why are we marking these things the way we were doing on page 68. So when we get to page 69, you can do well, okay? Think D says add all missing semicolons, colons, underlining, hyphens, quotation marks, and apostrophe. Let's go back real quick and review. Someone give me a time that we would use quotation marks. When would we use quotation marks? Yes, Savannah.
When you're repeating something someone said.
Good. When you're directly quoting somebody, right? Mrs. Rule said, "We are going to have a Thanksgiving party." That would be an indirect quote. But if I said, Mrs. Rule said, comma, "Class, we're going to have a Thanksgiving party on Friday," you would put quotation marks around that because that is word for word exactly what I said. If we paraphrase it, then it's not a direct quote. Okay, we gave examples of that, direct quotes and indirect quotes. For example, Shane said, "I love to collect model cars." Okay, that's a direct quote or an indirect quote? Shane said, "I like to collect model cars." What do you guys think? Direct quote or indirect quote? Direct quote. If I paraphrase that, I would say Shane said that he likes to collect model cars. Okay, that would be an indirect quote. I threw that word "that" in there, and it's not word for word what Shane said. Okay, so make sure you understand the difference. When else would we use quotation marks, class? Josiah?
When we're quoting something from a newspaper or anything like that.
Okay, so titles of short works. Okay, newspapers, do we put quotation marks around them or do we underline those? We underline them, okay? Now, if it's something from a newspaper, an article, something within it, then we would put quotation marks around it. So anything that is a short story, a poem, something that's a smaller work of art, we would put quotation marks around. Okay, anyone else? Any other quotation mark rules that we can remember? Okay, let's go on to semicolons. Someone give me a time when we would use semicolons. Ariel?
The items on this following list are needed. If you select
Not a semicolon. A colon, yes. So that's one of our colon rules. Let's talk about semicolon, though. When do we use a semicolon? Shane?
when you're joining
Good. When you're joining two sentences, we would use a semicolon. Okay. Any other times we would use a semicolon? Adam, can you remember anything else? We talked about when we have a list of things, like apples, bananas, and oranges are my favorite, but I like coconut too. Okay, now I have a series of things, but I also have a need for a comma and a conjunction, right? Because I have two sentences. But when we have a series of things, when we have lots of commas already in a sentence, then we would use that semicolon in front of the conjunction, okay? How about colons? Ariel, give me that rule that you talked about with colons. When would we use a colon? Good. We would use a colon right before a list of things. We need the following items for the party: cups, napkins, plates, and dessert. Okay? So we would use a colon when we're having a list of things, using the words "the following" or just stating that we have a list of things following. Okay? When else would we use a colon? There's some very obvious ones that we're forgetting. Yes, Liviana? Good. In between Bible verses, Luke 2:52. We use the colon in between the chapter and the verse. What else? Shane? Time. Very good. 10:50 is what time it is right now. We have a colon between the hour and the minute. Okay, let's talk about hyphens. When will we use a hyphen? Josiah? Peyton, pay attention, please. Put your pencil down. No one's writing anything right now. When you're what? Give me an example. Can't think of one. Adam?
Use the hyphen as a fraction.
Okay, good. When we're using a fraction that is used as a what? Adjective. Very good. I had 2/3 of the cookie. Is that used as an adjective? 2/3 of the cookie. Yes or no? Class, yes or no? Who says yes? Who says no? Okay, why is it not being used as an adjective in that example? 2/3 of the cookie. Ariel? Yes, because of the cookie. 6th grade is a prepositional phrase. Whenever you see that word of, it's a preposition, okay? To is always a preposition. Remember my Sammy the squirrel? When we have a prepositional phrase that follows a fraction, it is not being used as an adjective. We would not hyphenate it there. But when it is used in front of a noun, 2/3 sugar, okay? Now it's describing or telling us how much sugar, so that one we would put a hyphen in, okay? So fractions, when else would we use a hyphen? Josiah? In between what? Dates? A hyphen in between dates? If you are leaving out the first part, okay? So if you're saying like, no, that's not even, that's an apostrophe. Is this what you're thinking of? Okay, so yeah, we use an apostrophe on that one. When do we use a hyphen?
Like if you have like John 3:16 through 20.
Okay, yeah. We didn't talk about that. But if you're talking about several verses, you would use a little hyphen there. What else?
So like if you're writing, you write the sentence, you like run out of space, and then you hyphenate it, and then you put the rest of the
Good, yeah. If you're writing on your notebook paper and you get to the end of a line and you run out of space, you put your hyphen in, you finish it on the next line. Remember, there's only certain places that we can put a hyphen in at the end of a word. It has to be at a syllable break. You cannot hyphen with just one letter in the front or 2 letters at the end, so make sure we remember those rules. Okay, there's another time we would use a hyphen. Anyone remember? We talked about, let's see, what did we just talk about? We talked about the end, we talked about, what did we say before this? I can't remember now. What was the first one that someone answered on the hyphen rule? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, fractions, okay? There's one other one that kind of went along with the fractions. One other rule. Numbers, double-digit numbers. Remember 21, 32. Anytime we have a double-digit number that we have spelled out, we're going to use a hyphen in between, okay? So remember those rules for your hyphens. All right, let's talk about quotation marks. We already kind of talked about. How about apostrophes? Apostrophes. What are some rules dealing with apostrophes? Yes, ma'am? Viviana? Good. So when it shows possession, this is Liviana's desk. Okay, an apostrophe S shows possession. Remember, if it is a plural word, children, and we're showing possession, we would still have an apostrophe S. If it is a plural word that ends in an S, where do we put the apostrophe? After the S, okay? So good. When else do we use an apostrophe?
Like when you have like don't.
Okay, good. That is a contraction. In our contractions, when we're taking out, letters, we put an apostrophe in its place. We have these words, do not. Remember I gave the example of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I smush them together, the O pops out, and I put an apostrophe in its place. So we use apostrophes when we're having contractions. What else?
Use an apostrophe to show possession.
We talked about that, showing possession. Anything else? We talked about, okay, when we're using letters or numbers as words, like she wrote her A's incorrectly, or she needs to work on her 5s. We would use an apostrophe. Ariel, do you have another one?
When you're writing it, you don't put the apostrophe that's
Very good, and that goes along with this one. That was one of the rules with possession, okay? Remember that it's, the apostrophe, that stands for it is, so when we're talking about possession, that would be our possessive form. So that's an exception Okay, let's do thing D then. We're adding all the missing semicolons, colons, underlining, hyphens, quotation marks, and apostrophes. Number 1. We'll study some of Shakespeare's plays, including the following: Hamlet, Macbeth, and Julius Caesar. Who thinks they can handle this entire sentence? Liviana? Put a colon after the word following. Good. We'll study some of Shakespeare's plays, including the following: Hamlet, Macbeth, and Julius Caesar. There's 2 apostrophes we need to add. Can you see where they need to go? Okay, so it would actually come after the E, because Shakespeare was one person. So it needs to be apostrophe S. And there's one more place where we put an apostrophe. We'll study some Shakespeare's plays, including the following: Hamlet, Macbeth, and Julius Caesar. Not after plays. Does anyone spot it? Where do we need to put that second apostrophe in, or first apostrophe, really? Ariel? Nope. Yes, ma'am. In wheel. Right now that word is well. Did you guys see that? Without the apostrophe, that word is spelled well. Well, study some of Shakespeare's plays? That doesn't make sense. So it's supposed to be wheel, which stands for what? We will. We've taken some letters out. It's a contraction. We need to put the apostrophe after the letter E. 6th grade, make sure your masks are on for me, please. Okay? So we have wheel apostrophe, some of Shakespeare's apostrophe S plays, including the following: colon. There's one other thing we need to do to this sentence. Hamlet, Macbeth, and Julius Caesar. What do we do to the names of large works of art? Cameron? A semicolon looks like this. It's a period and a comma, and a colon is 2 dots. Okay? Semi has 1 dot and a comma. The regular colon has 2 dots. Okay, do we know what to do to Hamlet, Macbeth, and Julius Caesar, Cameron? What do we do to large works of art? Underline them. How many of you underline those? Okay, let's look at number 2. These kinds of things are going to be on your test on Thursday. You will have to find all of these marks in your sentences. So work hard and think about these rules right now so that you're ready for your test on Thursday. Number 2, Mrs. Alman said to me, "I was proud of your effort in last night's game." What do we do to this sentence? Ariel? Yes, put quotation marks around "I was proud of your effort in last night's game" before the word I, after the period at the end. There's one more little mark we need to add into the sentence. Who can spot it? Shane? No, the comma is after the word me, because the quote is "I was proud of your effort in last night's game." Adam, do you spot it? No. It is a possessive word, though. Ariel? Yes, we needed apostrophe before the S in nights. It wasn't several nights. It's not plural. It was one night. And the game belonged to that night. Okay? If you can think of it that way. So that needs to be a apostrophe S. Put that down. I hope you got that, Josiah. Number 3, Mary Tillman read 21 pages from the Jungle Book. Then her brother read a poem entitled "The Village Blacksmith." Josiah, this one's for you. Quite a few things we need to do to this sentence. I can't hear you now. Speak nice and loud because your mask. It's very hard to understand you. So what are you doing? A colon where? No. Mary Tillman read 21 pages from the Jungle Book. Then her brother read a poem entitled The Village Blacksmith. Keep going, give it a try. A hyphen between 21. Very good, keep going. Get hot and get cold. Underline the Jungle Book. Tony, are you getting all these? The Village Blacksmith is a poem, which is a smaller work of art. Quotation marks around the Village Blacksmith. There's one little mark that you're missing. Mary Tillman read 21 pages from the Jungle Book. Then her brother read a poem entitled The Village Blacksmith. What is it, Josiah? Put a comma after then? Can we separate two sentences with a comma? Semicolon. They're not even asking you to put commas in any of these sentences. You're missing semicolons, colons, underlining, hyphens, quotation marks, and apostrophes. So hopefully you guys all got that. There was a hyphen after 20. We underlined the Jungle Book because it's a name of a book. We put a semicolon after the word book because we have two sentences here. And we put quotation marks around the poem The Village Blacksmith. Number 4, 27. 27 A's, 39 I's, and 41 E's are contained in this paragraph, but there are no X's or Y's. Adam? Okay. 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 Okay, so we have an apostrophe between A for A's, I's, E's, X's, and Y's. There are a few more marks in here, though, that we're missing. 27 A's, 39 I's, and 41 E's are contained in this paragraph. 27 and? 39 and? Good. We have hyphen between 27, 39, and 41. And there's one more little mark we're missing. "27 A's, 39 I's, and 41 E's are contained in this paragraph, but there are no X's or Y's." Can someone help him out? Does anyone see what it is? Ariel? Are we supposed to be putting commas in this section? So look at this sentence though. We have 37 A's, comma, 39 I's, comma, and 41 E's are contained in this paragraph. So when we already have quite a few commas, what do we put in front of a semicolon? Yep. When we have a lot of commas already, when we have a list or series, that's when we're going to switch over. Instead of doing the comma before the conjunction, we're going to do the semicolon before the conjunction. Number 5. Landon, this one's for you. John 11:25, James 1:5, and Ephesians 6:1 were on the Bible test. Galatians 5:22 and 23 was not.
You put a semicolon in between 11:25.
Put what?
A colon.
A colon, good.
And then James 1:5.
Good.
Ephesians 6:1.
Good.
And 5:22.
Good. So one more mark you're missing. Read me the sentence, Landon, please.
John 1:25. on the Bible test, Galatians 5:22 through 23 was not.
What's missing? You have a problem, Landon, because we have a run-on sentence here. John 11:25, James 1:5, and Ephesians 6:1 were on the Bible test. That's a sentence. Galatians 5:22 and 23 was not. That's a sentence. We have two sentences joined incorrectly. So what do we need to do to fix that? Landon, look at my eyes. How do we fix two sentences that are joined incorrectly? There's only two ways we can join them correctly. Semicolon, and that's what we're doing in this section. We're adding semicolons. So we need to have a semicolon after the word test. So we have two sentences here. Do you understand that? Okay. Number 6, Olive. Mr. Willis said, you will be seeing slides of these famous sculptures today. Rodin's The Thinker, Houdin's Lafayette, and Epstein's The American Soldier. Good. You will be seeing slides of these famous sculptures today. Rodin's The Thinker, Houdin's Lafayette, and Epstein's The American Soldier. Okay, well, we would underline Lafayette. So just like you did The Thinker, that's the name of Rodin's sculpture. He's the artist. Houdin's, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. His sculpture is Lafayette. Then we have another artist, Epstein, and his sculpture is what? The American Soldier. So we need to underline the names of all three of those sculptures. There's a few more marks we need to add in here, though. Good. Put quotation marks before you and after soldier. Still a couple marks we're missing. Good. Colon after today because we have a list. Then we have a few words that are showing possession. So what do they need to have? And which words? No, his name is Mr. Wills. Which one of these words are showing possession? Mr. Wills said, you will be seeing slides of these famous sculptures today. Rodin's The Thinker, Houdin's Lafayette, and Epstein's The American Soldier. Can someone help her out? Josiah? She already said to underline The Thinker, Lafayette, and American Soldier. We're looking for the words that are showing possession. Who can find the words that are showing possession here? Peyton? She already gave us the quotation marks. We're looking for the words that show possession here. Ariel? No! You guys are all stuck on this. There are 3 names of people that own something. It's their thing. Shane, what is it? Yes, Rodden, apostrophe S. There's not several Roddens. There's not like 5 different artists named Roddens, and they all made this one work. There's one artist named Rodden, and this is his piece of sculpture. This is his work of art. So it needs to be apostrophe S, okay, because it's showing possession. Whose sculpture is it? Who's the thinker is it? It's Rodin. So R-O-D-I-N apostrophe S. Whose sculpture Lafayette, class? Class, look at number 6, please. We're going to be here all through lunch because we're not paying attention. Who's Lafayette? Who did that sculpture? Houdon's, yes. So we have an apostrophe between the N and the S. It's his sculpture. Whose sculpture is the American soldier? Epstein's. Okay, so we need an apostrophe between the N and the S. There, do you understand the difference here? Right now, without the apostrophe, eyes on me, okay? Without the apostrophe, do you not have your, put your grammar book up on your desk, okay? So I can see it. Without the apostrophe, we're saying that there's more than one Epstein. Okay, that'd be like saying Mrs. Rule's class. Without the apostrophe, that would mean Mrs. Rule's. Like there's lots of Mrs. Rule's in our school. There's only one Mrs. Rule in our school. Okay? If I said Shane's candy, if I don't put the apostrophe in there, I'm talking about lots of different chains. Okay? The apostrophe is what makes it possessive, not plural. Okay? So here we have the author, the artist's name, with their work. It belongs to them. That's their work. Kind of like Shane's crayon box. Okay? Shane's crayon box would be apostrophe S. The crayon box belongs to Shane. Okay? So this work of art, this sculpture belongs to these guys' names. Okay? Here we go. So make sure you're looking for those things. That's why it's so important that when we're going over these rules, okay, we're processing. We've got to put those thinking caps on, as I like to say when I'm teaching the elementary class. Because if you sit here and you zone out, Landon, if you're looking out the window, Tristan, if you're staring off at your ball or whatever, if we're not thinking and we're not using our critical thinking, then when we go to do this on our paper, all these words it just looks fine. Everything looks fine, and we skip right over it. We have to be able to know the rule so we can spot it out on these sentences. Okay? We know that if a name has an S at the end, if it's showing possession, it has to have an apostrophe to show possession. If not, then we're saying it's plural. Okay? So we have to know the rules. Let's go on to the next one. Number 7, the orchestra played music from Bizet's opera Carmen. Who can do this one for me? Liviana? Tristan, focus. Talk nice and loud because I'll be able to hear you over this air conditioning. Apostrophe S where? Yes, good. We need to put an apostrophe between or before the S in Bizet's. Because Bizet is the name. Whose opera is it? It is Bizet's. Okay? And what is the name of the opera, Liviana? Good. So what are we going to do? We're going to underline it because an opera is a big musical production. Number 8. Tony, $5 worth of gas will not be enough. You ought to buy at least $5.75 worth. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 marks in here that we need to find. Can you help us find them? Talk nice and loud. A colon goes where? Tristan, did you get this on your paper? Are you working on your paper? Are you trying to figure it out on your own, or are you waiting for the answer? You won't learn if you don't try to figure it out on your own. Semicolon? Okay, we got to learn the marks, guys, okay? So this is called a what?
Semicolon.
This is called a? This is called an? When I have two of these, they are called quotation marks. The dash is called a hyphen. Okay, so make sure we know the words, the terms of these punctuation marks. So semicolon goes where, Tony? After enough. Good. Why? Because we have two sentences there. Okay, so that's one. We need a few more marks in there. 3 more. Did you get them, Savannah? All 3 of them? Look for them. See if you can figure it out. 2 of them are possessive. Yeah, so we're going to put the apostrophe after the word sent before the S. And we're going to put it right before the S in dollars. Very good. There's one more little line you're missing. $5 worth of gas will not be enough. You ought to buy at least $5.75 worth. Help. Ariel, help him out. Yes, we need a hyphen between our double-digit number there, 75. Number 9, Emmeline. Daniel Boone was 86 years old when he died. Yes, put a hyphen between 86. That one was an easy one. That's all that we had to do in that sentence. Number 10, Gavin. Anne's collie, Ben's German Shepherd, and Maria's Dachshund all won prizes at the dog show, but I did not enter my bulldog. Okay, an apostrophe before the S in Anne's. An apostrophe before the A, after the A before the S in Maria's. You didn't say Ben's yet. Okay, between the N and the S in Ben's. One more mark. Anne's collie, Benjamin. Semicolon before the word but, yes. Because normally we would have a comma, but we have a list of things, so we already have quite a few commas in the sentence, so we would use our semicolon. Okay, let's look at Remember E. Read the instructions for me, Landon.
Circle the word S in each sentence that is not written correctly according to the capitalization rules.
It says circle the word or words in each sentence that is not written correctly according to the capitalization rules. The lighthouse stands as a beacon for ships at sea. Okay, we're looking at capitalization errors. Is there a capitalization error in this sentence? Olive, can you spot it out? Good. Lighthouse should not be capitalized. Circle the word lighthouse. Number 2, Tristan. The Atlantic coastline has many of these quaint structures. Looking for the capitalization error. Atlantic needs to be capitalized. Number 3, you can also see impressive lighthouses along the coast in Oregon and Washington. Ariel? Oregon and Washington need to be capitalized. There's one more error in the sentence, though. Josiah? Coast should not be capitalized. Very good. Okay, guys, flip over to page 69. This is a quiz and will be graded. Listen carefully to the instructions. In the blank, write S for simple sentence, CD for compound sentence, F for fragment, or RO for run-on. It says on notebook paper, correct the fragments and run-on sentences. I won't make you correct them. I just want to know, is it a simple sentence? Is it a run-on sentence? Cameron, pay attention. Is it compound or is it a fragment? Okay? Remember, compound means there are how many sentences put together? Two. Run-on means there are more than one sentences, but they are put together how? Incorrectly. Very good. What are the only two ways we can correctly join two sentences? Ariel? A semicolon or a comma and a conjunction. A fragment is a group of words that does not what? Make sense or express a complete thought. Okay? The black cat that ran away. Okay? That's not a complete thought. We don't know what happened to that black cat that ran away. Okay? So we need to complete our thought. So that is what a fragment is. Okay? You may begin. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. These are pretty easy. Gianni, make sure you work on this, and then on Friday you'll rip this out and turn it in, okay? Cameron, are you finished? Are you finished? Okay, we're going to exchange in a minute, so whatever's not done will be marked wrong, so we need to get busy. finished? If you're finished, you may work on your spelling homework while we wait for others to finish. That way you're not wasting time. That worksheet that I gave you. Keep your books out and open though, please. Did you already finish your worksheet? Your spelling worksheet? That one, yes. And Peyton, this one you need to keep in your binder somewhere safe, okay? So that I like to slide it in the back of my binder so you don't lose it, because that's what you're studying this week. I am. Yes, sir. What's your question? It's a quiz, so I can't really help you too much. I'm just looking to see, is it a sentence? Is it a fragment? Is it a run-on, two sentences put together incorrectly? Is it a compound sentences, two sentences joined correctly? You are finished with your grammar. Be working on your spelling worksheet, please, for homework. If you finish your spelling worksheet, then you can go ahead and start working on your creative writing, page 17. Tony, evaluate. Check to see, like, do I have one sentence here? Do I have two sentences here? If you have two sentences, then check to see, remember there's only two ways to join a sentence correctly, so check to see if it's joined correctly. If you have two sentences and it's joined correctly, then it's compound. If you have two sentences and they're not joined correctly, then it's a run-on. If you don't have two sentences, then it's either going to be a sentence or a fragment, right? Sentence means it makes sense. Fragment means it doesn't make sense. Okay, about 1 more minute to work on your grammar, and then whatever's not done, you'll finish for homework, and we'll grade them tomorrow. Gianni, while you're waiting, we still have a few people finishing up. You can be working on your spelling worksheet, or you can be working on your penmanship page number 17. Just so I don't waste time, bud. Okay. Is everybody done with their language? Who is not done with their language? Okay. If you are in my book group of spelling, go ahead and pull out your spelling books, please. Go to list number 10. Those of you that are in the paper group, you can still work on your homework, which is your worksheet for spelling, or your creative writing, page 17. Book group, open up to list 10. This is your new list for the week. Okay, make sure you have your highlighter ready so you can highlight all of your vocabulary words. Okay, here we go. Number 1, the word is dehydrate. Dehydrate means what, class? To remove water from. So, yeah, so just what you're going to do is you're going to trace these. Then I want you to try it on your own. And then this front. That's the word like, but it's okay. Trace it first, okay? And then try to copy it. Your cursive guide is right here. You can always just kind of keep that with your page. And this shows you how to make the S's. It shows you where to start. You go up and around and you loop like that, okay? And this is your T. So it shows you how to do your T's there. And then your little M. Your little M has 3 humps. Your little N has 2 humps. And then your little H, okay? So all you need to do is trace these and then copy and then do your best. Try to see if you can write that, okay?
Read it, but okay.
That's okay. You'll learn it. You're still learning and that's okay. Can you wait a few minutes? Okay. So dehydrate means to remove water from. Make sure you highlight the word and the definition. Skip to number 4. What is this word, guys? Hydrophobia means an abnormal fear of water. If you hear that word phobia means fear, okay? So hydro means water. So hydrophobia means fear of water. Number 6, what is this word? Congratulate means to express pleasure over someone's success. Number 7 is the word what?
Grateful.
Grateful means what?
Thankful.
Thankful. This is the month of November. We are in the month of thankfulness. Taking time to be thankful. Number 8 is the word?
Gracious.
Gracious means that you are courteous and kind. Courteous and kind. Someone who is gracious means they are courteous and kind. Skip over to number 13. This word is? Renovate. Some of you might hear the word someone renovated their house. That means to make like what? New again. You take something old and you make it new again. Renovate. Number 14. What is this word? Reject means? To cast off. If something is rejected, that means they're turning it away. They're casting it off. They're not accepting it. Number 15. This word is? Reassure means to encourage. If someone is reassuring, if I'm reassuring my daughter, you're going to do great in preschool. That means I'm encouraging her. Number 17, what is this word? Revise means to read over carefully and improve. When you write your first book report, you will turn it in, your rough draft. I will make some corrections on it and then I will ask you to revise it. Meaning you have to go back, you have to read over it, you have to make those corrections, improve it, and rewrite it and turn in your final draft. Okay, that's what revise means, to read over carefully and improve. Number 19, what is this word? Reserve means? For some special purpose. Very good. It's like if you reserve someone's seat, you're setting it apart, you're saving it for them. Okay, number 23, this word is? Contradictory. Say it again. Contradictory means the opposite or contrary. If Adam says something that is contradictory of what Tony says, that means they are not the same. They are opposite. Number 27, this word is? Satisfactory. Notice all of these words end with that suffix ORY, which means a place where or the thing which. Okay? Satisfactory means adequate, good enough to fulfill the need, okay? If I said that test grade was satisfactory, meaning it was good enough. It wasn't awesome, but it was good enough. It was satisfactory. Next word, number 28, is what word? Predatory, which means living by feeding upon other animals, okay? We use this word a lot when we're talking about science and animals. We talk about predators. It means they live by feeding off of other animals. Number 32, this vocabulary word is? Directory, which is a list of names and addresses. We have a directory for our school family. We have all of your addresses and names in a database, okay? And then number 34, this word is? Observatory, which is a building for observing planets and stars. Has anyone ever been to an observatory? It's kind of cool, isn't it? So this is specifically for observing planets and stars, okay? We are going to postpone and do test your understanding another day because we did take a little bit longer on our grammar today. Make sure you know your vocabulary words. Start studying them tonight. Make sure you also know how to spell the regular words that are not bolded. Those of you in the paper group, you may take out your list. Let's go over it quickly. Those of you that are in the book work group, make sure that all of your work is done. If you have not finished, be working on that worksheet or creative writing page 17. Whatever is not done will be homework. Paper group, this is your new list for the week, okay? Looking at some common words we need to know in 6th grade, our G's and our H's. Number 1, what is this word?
Gallon.
Gallon. Let's spell it. Ready? G-A-L-L-O-N. Gallon. We know that gallon is a unit of measure. It measures liquid. Okay, number 2.
Gaze.
Gaze. Spell it.
G-A-Z-E.
Gaze. Good. Say, spell, say. Peyton, are you doing this with us? We're working on our spelling list. We're say, spell, say. We'll wait for you. It's important that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing during class time. Okay, Justin, got your list in front of you. Put your pencil down, please. We're not working on anything but spelling right now. Number 3, what is this word?
Governor. Or no.
What is it?
Gesture.
Gesture. Okay, say that with me. Gesture. A gesture is like a hand motion. You're signaling something. Okay, let's spell it together. Ready? G-E-S-T-U-R-E. Gesture. How do we know that the G makes the just sound in this word? Does anyone know? Let me refresh you on a phonics rule, okay? Peyton, Cameron, Emmeline, Tony, Landon, and Tristan. Eyes on me. When a C is followed by an E, I, or Y, it says S. It's the same thing with a G. When a G is followed by an E, I, or Y, it says the J sound. Okay? So remember that rule. Okay? So C or a G. And there are exceptions. It's not every time, but many times. Okay? If it's followed by those letters, it'll make the J sound. Okay? All right, let's look at number 4. What is this word? Governor. Okay, we have a governor of California. Who knows what our governor's name is? Shout it out if you do. Governor Newsom. Okay, so every state has a governor of their state. Let's spell it. Ready, begin. G-O-V-E-R-N-O-R. Governor. Governor has an O-R at the end. Number 5, what is this word? Graduation. Peyton, spell it for us. Good. Circle the special sound shun. T-I-O-N. Go ahead and circle that with your pencil. T-I-O-N says shun in graduation. Say that with me. T-I-O-N says shun in graduation. Say it again. Ready? T-I-O-N says shun in graduation. Everything else is just like it sounds. Grad, U, A, and then shun. Number 6. What is this word?
Grateful.
Grateful. Once again, in the month of November, we are learning to be grateful and thankful. Grateful. G-R-A-T-E-F-U-L. Let's spell it. Ready, begin. G-R-A-T-E-F-U-L. Grateful. Number 7. What is this word?
Grief.
Grief. Cameron, spell it for us. Here we have our I before E. Grief, meaning sadness. Okay, number 8. What is this word? Halves. Like I have 2 halves of an apple. 2 halves make a whole. Good. Let's spell halves. Ready, begin. H-A-L-V-E-S. Halves. When we have a half, it's H-A-L-F. But when it's plural, halves, we have H-A-L-V-E-S. Okay, so make sure you know that. Number 9. What is this word? Hamburger. I would love to have a hamburger right now. Let's spell it. Ready? H-A-M-B-U-R-G-E-R. Hamburger. Number 10. What is this word? Hanger. Can someone use this word in a sentence for me? Tony? Because there's 2 words, hanger. Okay, I thought someone might say that, but that is incorrect, and here's why. Because hanger that we would use to hang up our clothes is spelled Hanger, hanger. This one has an AR at the end, so what do you think this hanger is talking about, Cameron? Yes, the place where you keep and store an airplane is called a hangar, okay? I grew up in the Antelope Valley, and they have the Jethawks baseball team there. And so they have a big old airplane out in front of the stadium, and the stadium is called the Hangar, Hangar. Okay, so make sure you know that. Go ahead and circle that AR at the end of hangar, and know that this is talking about the place where you would keep an airplane. Okay, your vocabulary this week, guys, look at it. Dehydrate means what?
Remove water.
Okay, if you dehydrate fruit, that means, have you guys ever had dried fruit before? I like to eat dried fruit, actually. It's good for you. But you dehydrate it. You pull all the liquid out of it, all the juice and the water, and that's how you dehydrate. Okay, dehydrate if you are outside and your mom might say, don't get dehydrated, and that means make sure you drink your water. If all of the water is out of your body, if you sweat it all out and you don't drink, you don't replenish, you can become dehydrated. Number 2, this word is? Grateful, and that's one of our spelling words as well. So grateful means thankful. Number 3, gracious means courteous and kind. Number 4, renovate, to make like new again. And number 5, revise, to read over carefully and improve. You'll have to know your words and definitions, and you'll have to know how to spell these. All right, let's pray for lunch. Class, bow your heads and close your eyes. Dear Lord, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for these 6th graders. Lord, I pray to help us have a great week. Lord, we're excited about Thanksgiving break next week and taking time to be with our families, taking time to celebrate and to be thankful for all the things that we have. I pray you'd be with each of these 6th graders, that you would give them a healthy and safe holiday break, Lord, that they would be safe as they travel, Lord, that they would stay healthy. Lord, I pray that you would bless this lunch to our bodies. In your name I pray. Amen.